2 months before the game came out, I had a conversation with some of the board members that, guys, I think we have something good here. Maybe let's try to already do something with it. And their reaction was like, I know it's your baby. It's like, calm down, right? It seems cool, but let's see what people say.
There's something oddly enticing about a game within a game. It can be a simple diversion, a way to earn some quick rewards, and can even serve the game world if done correctly. I spent hours playing classic NES and Animal Crossing, and I lied and cheated my way through dozens of poker tournaments in Red Dead Redemption. When The Witcher 3 released in May 2015, Gwent was the last thing on our minds. In a huge RPG with dozens of key characters, hundreds of quests, and a story that had been in the works for almost 10 years, it didn't seem like Gwent would be able to divert anyone's attention for long. However, even as The Witcher 3 launched to an overwhelming amount of praise for its core RPG gameplay, fans were becoming engrossed with Gwent. Soon, they were clamoring for more, but the fan-favorite card game almost didn't make it into the final version of The Witcher 3. Fans of collectible card games themselves, designer Rafal Jaki and Damien Monnier, had devoted hours to making prototypes of a card game that could fit into The Witcher. After weeks of work, they realized that the game simply wasn't fun. When it was time to show the managing director what the team had been up to, he was not impressed. He was about to shutter the card game altogether, but in one last-ditch effort, Monnier spoke up.
Damien had a panic attack, I think, at that time, and he said, no, we'll do it. And I'm like, whoa, what we'll do it? He said, we'll do the card game. We'll do it, just believe, we already have it, it's fine, we'll do it. And I was really scared at that time, and Adam was like, he was looking at me, he's like, nope, you don't have anything. So, but if you really do, it's Friday today, so bring a working prototype on Monday, and yeah, then we decide.
That weekend, the duo went straight back to work. Jaki and Monnier didn't have to start from scratch, but they had to rethink a lot of the core mechanics. One of the biggest challenges was simplifying it, but not to the point where it became too shallow. The team did manage to settle on something they liked, but they would soon realize that that was only half the battle.
So during the weekend, we actually settled on a prototype. We actually did it. We brought like trump cards with post-its on it, and we just went to Adam and just showed it to him. And he said, "Yep, that's cool. Let's do that." But he didn't give us resources or anything. He just said, "Okay, everybody's slammed. Just I don't know how, but just go and do it." So we actually lured other people that we needed in. So we made a scheme because there's a big corridor in CDPR, and we sat down with Damien and we tried to enjoy playing the prototype so much that everybody will hear that we're enjoying. Oh my God, this amazing game that we came up with. Oh, Damien, you're having so much fun. And it's like we're exaggerating, trying to lure the specific people we needed for the project. For example, Travis, who is one of the guys that helped us with the card text and rules, he was walking by and said, "Oh, what's that?" And we're like, "This is something new. Let's try it out." So we basically showed it to him, and he said, "Yeah, that's extremely cool." And I was like, "Good, you're going to make it with us." And basically that's how the whole thing started. And obviously when it get traction and people kind of fell in love with it internally, more people jumped in on board, and we made it happen. But there was like 2 or 3 times where it was on the chopping block and was this close for not being in the game because everybody was slammed anyway.
But as The Witcher 3's release date closed in, Gwent not only became a sure thing, but the team felt they might be onto something great. Something more than just a minigame players would forget about after the credits rolled.
The first day on release, I think I've read obviously all the reviews of the game, and that was a great moment for the studio. But I think at the 3rd or 4th review I've read, one of the pluses was Gwent, and I was like, yeah. Already sent it to the board members, like, see, somebody said Gwent is great. And then a week later, people started to send us emails and messages and basically spamming our mailboxes with like, are you doing standalone Gwent? And really, the fans helped us make this happen, because in a week I already have hundreds of emails that I could send, saying that people really love it. And so I think I made a presentation within a week from that point, pitched it to the board, and they said, okay, let's put out a small team and let's try to figure out what would have to happen for this to be a standalone.
In spite of its popularity, Gwent had some issues. If you played Gwent in The Witcher 3, then you know it was not particularly balanced. The further along you progressed, the better your cards got, and by the end you were supposed to be unstoppable. However, this doesn't quite work for what Jaki and Monnier hope to become a standalone competitive card game.
Well, first and foremost, we've learned that people will break our game fast. They will break anything that we put out there. They will find a way to exploit that easily. Even if we do, 100 people QAs and we have competitive players playing it. We have PTRs where we have the best players in the world playing the game before it. Give one day one kid in Ukraine and he just finds something that we couldn't. That really changed our perspective of how we should approach things, and I think we're more cautious and try to find the best way to address more systemic things rather than jump on this card is OP, let's change it fast, because then everybody will be happy.
Gwent's shaping up to be a great multiplayer game, but what really sets it apart is a fully fleshed out single-player campaign. Although we haven't seen much of it, CD Projekt Red promises an ambitious role-playing game that will follow in the footsteps of the Witcher series.
Doing single-player content is something that me personally and a lot of people on the team felt that was not done in a card game. There are two things that the single-player campaign hopefully will do. One, we hope to bring people that enjoyed Witcher 3 playing Gwent. And if they want to ignore the multiplayer stuff, it's totally fine with us. Because, we love the Witcher world, and Geralt's story has ended. But there's so many interesting stories and characters in this world that we can talk about and we can tell their stories. And we never actually had a formula to do so, but now we do. And that means that we can go into different times, we can talk about different characters, not only Geralt necessarily. And I think that's a very cool aspect of it, and people hopefully will enjoy that part, because the Witcher world is so vast and it's complex and we love it. And the second thing is that people that enjoy multiplayer might find a different pacing for single player, because maybe we see it a lot. There's just people that play Gwent and they never actually play the Witcher game ever. So we hope that because they like Gwent, maybe they will fall in love with the Witcher world. And that's our hope. So those two things are quite important for us, and we try to make it as something that's really rooted and connected into the Witcher world, not dumb it down, have meaningful choices in there. And hopefully people that love Witcher will come back and say, this is amazing and we like it. People that don't know Witcher will fall in love with the world.
The Witcher universe is Gwent's advantage. Jaki and the development team don't intend to make just another CCG riding on the coattails of Hearthstone. Rather, they want to make a full Witcher game with all the elements that fans expect from the series.
Because the last thing you want to do is for your game to be generic, right? For not memorable. And I think because people that work on our team on Gwent, everybody plays all the time, and they really love this world, and they've been either with this world for a long time, or they're newcomers that actually joined the team recently. But that's something that you cannot replicate really easy, I think, because I hope that people can find and feel that there is a huge amount of devotion and love in the game, But I think it's kind of special for Gwent because it became a thing because people were passionate about it, and that transfers, and that's our obligation to the players, and we just want to make them happy.